November. Now to my final topic. Brand Africa is a concept that encompasses the collective perception, reputation and identity of the African continent as a whole. Despite facing numerous challenges, the negative perceptions of the continent are changing, and African storytellers play a crucial part in these changing attitudes. Well, for more on this, I'm now being joined by the founder and chairman of the APO Group, Nicolas Pompigné-Monard. Nicolas joins me from Estoril in Portugal. Nicolas Pompigné-Monard, it's an absolute pleasure having you on Channel's Business Global again. I almost feel like, because you are an expert in media and PR, that we're almost breaking the fourth wall speaking with you today. But it's good because, of course, so many exciting things have been happening across the continent. So it's always great to get an expert opinion. Now, the APO has redefined the media and communications landscape across the continent for several years now, across multiple sectors, particularly sport. In your opinion, how is Brand Africa doing in 2024?
Well, obviously, as we all know, Africa is not a country, and so we will always have discrepancy between countries. But if you look at the latest report from the African Development Bank, as you know, Africa is going to forecast to be the second fastest growing region in the world, and home of 11 of the 20 fastest growing country in the world for 2024. So I mean, I'll say that the continent is doing well, but you will always have those discrepancies between countries. When it comes to the brand Africa in certain sectors, which are referred to as the creative industries these days, I'm referring to music, I'm referring to art, referring to sport. I mean, Africa is booming, I would say. In sport, Africa never hosted that many international sports events. You know that Rwanda is going to host the World Cycling Championship, the World Cycling Championship. Senegal is going to host the very first Olympic event ever organized on African soil with the Youth Olympic. Egypt just announced, a few months ago, announced they were bidding to host the Olympic Games, 2036, I think. Morocco just won a joint bid with Spain and Portugal to host the FIFA World Cup. I mean, so when it comes to sport, and not to forget, for the second time in the row, South Africa is champion of the world of rugby, and so many other good news. Then if you move to music, Afrobeat is exporting all across the world. With the Burna Boys, Davidos, etc. And you make me the pleasure to display one of my LinkedIn posts a few weeks ago on your channel. But I have 35 something connection on LinkedIn, and my feed is 95% about Africa. And I guarantee you, when you look at Nicolas Pompigné-Monard's feed on LinkedIn, when you are me and you look at that feed, you can see all the good news coming from all over. It's almost overwhelming. So again, Africa is not a country. 54, you will always have some bad news here and there, but overall, I think the future is bright.
Absolutely. Here, I totally agree with you. And you're right, but besides all of the feed, all of the posts we see on your feed about some of the successful African stories, it's not just about PR. That's not all you do. You also help African journalists tell compelling stories, help shaping their narratives. Can you talk to me a little bit more about what APO Group does in helping us craft our own stories?
Well, it's why I started that company. It's really at the core and the DNA of who we are. We are content provider. We are providing content about Africa, corporate news content, but also content issued by NGOs, international institutions, etc. Press releases, but also images, videos, audio files, in order to capture all the type of media. So. To TV, we send video B-roll. To radio, we send audio files. To website, newspapers, we send text, we send pictures. And we are in the business, in the industry of publication, of press release distribution. And so most of the content we are distributing, either corporate news or sport news or etc., most of that content is actually good news. Usually when an organization is issuing a press release, it's a good news. And so that's why sometimes as a joke, I refer to us as a chief happiness officer. You know, we are all the content we are issuing across the world about Africa, because we are distributing our content in Africa, but also African content to the world through our partnership with Bloomberg Terminal, Thomson Reuters, Aecon, LexisNexis, Dow Jones Factiva. We are making all that content about Africa available to all the media reporting on Africa across the world. And so we have that very long-standing relationship with the media landscape in Africa. We started providing content 17 years ago. And the characteristic of the content we are providing, we know we are in a world of copyright. We are in a world where if you are a media, you need to respect the copyright, but or you need to pay for content. Well, APO content is copyright free because it's public relation content, it's communication content, so it's actually meant to be used. And the service to subscribe to APO is also completely free.
Yes.
So when you think about it these days, specifically when you consider the disinfodemic, what the World Health Organization calls disinfodemic, or the fake news, or you know the fact that AI is boosting the ability of any people to create fake news, which is which is still realistic, etc. I'm under the opinion that the public relation industry is becoming a beacon of news, for journalists.
My goodness, we've got a lot to talk about. As I said, you've opened so many cans of worms here, good cans, and because we've got to have this discussion. The discussions need to take place so that we can look for solutions, but at least we are getting positive stories. Really insightful speaking with you today. Nicolas Pompigné-Mognard, who of course is the founder and chairman of the APO Group. Thank you so much for your time and expertise today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, Sam.